Oh, God.
Well, hello again.
Do you get that really loud ding ding every time you log on? Okay.
It's like a little doorbell, isn't it? Like the little
Yeah.
doorbell's opening up.
Really loud. I might just turn it down though, because that's quite loud.
It's probably your computer.
Yeah.
It'll be your computer. But yeah, I've not done back to backs. I was trying to finish it up quicker. Like
I know, but she has so much amazing stuff to say. You know, and then to actually go and cut her short, you sort of can't. It's just no, and neither would you want to in a lot of ways.
No, well, I couldn't. I couldn't see a gap. I'm just going, what? I think we've got the crutch. Because last week, yeah, we did go for the owl, but it was quite valuable. I wasn't really going to edit much. Just have a look at it, and then, oh crap.
You're still recording, by the way.
Yeah, well, I don't know. And it's probably because I've got it set recording, and maybe I did forget to put it on. I thought it was.
Ah.
Hi, B. How are you? Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi. Yeah. You up in the right-hand corner, you've got mute and unmute up there. Are you muted? In your right-hand corner, mute, unmute, the three little dots there. If you just click on the three dots, it's got mute audio, stop video, chat. Unless you hover at the bottom, but it shouldn't be at the bottom.
Yeah, it's at the bottom on mine.
I can hear you now.
Oh.
You just said something. I heard you. I heard you. Gosh. Finally meet you after many, many messages back and forth.
Me?
Yeah, you. Yeah, turn your sound up a bit more. You got a volume up a little bit more?
It's okay. I'll have to put it off. My daughter's just done a bunch of art on her face.
I can hear you now.
She just came in and said, I can't get it off my face.
Are you going to be on? I'm going to take a video of you.
That's another 21st shot.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to work out how to do the snapshot of these things. People keep putting up snapshots of this and then they put it up with their videos, but I've got to learn that yet. But
it's too tech savvy for me too.
I'm working on it. I'm learning. I was going to do some sharing tonight, so watch out. It's going to be interesting. Depends on how it all goes. But anyway. Yeah, so I'm Pauline anyway, B, and over here is Melissa, another homeschooling mum.
Hi.
And B, have you just started this year with your daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, what a journey you have ahead of you. Ah, and it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's good.
It's an awesome one. You would never look back and regret it.
How long have you been homeschooling?
Oh, my God. Are you asking me or Pauline?
No, you.
Me. I first took my kids out when they were in first grade. They're now in year 10.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So I have had, and that's been quite intermittent as well, because in the middle of that, they've had about 3 different enrollments in different schools as well.
Okay.
And most of them only lasted maybe 6 months to a year when we were back homeschooling again.
Yeah, okay.
So best thing I've ever done.
Fantastic.
They're currently in distance education.
Yeah.
So they're actually registered through the public system, but they are still homeschooled.
Yeah.
That's only through the fact that we are claiming anxiety and Asperger's.
Yeah, okay.
So, oh, that was really weird. When I saw your daughter go behind you, I thought it was my daughter going behind me. I was thinking, oh, hang on, I don't have a cupboard behind me. That was really odd, sorry. That's all good, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I have, yeah, we have been through a lot. We were even homeschooling, living in a tent. So there was lots of different things that, yeah, we can share. If there's anything that we can help you with, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, awesome.
So how old's your daughter?
So she's 13.
Mm-hmm.
She's just made a rap video. So do you want to?
No, I did the SoundCloud parody.
Okay. So she did her first year of high school last year at Footscray City, and I was just completely unimpressed. And it kind of just reinforced my general views of schools and how they batch kids and expect everyone to be able to bundle along with everybody else at the same pace for no reason other than their age. And Emmy's not the sort of kid who's going to put her hand up and ask for fear of standing out. And so if there was anything she didn't understand, which there was stuff, she just went through the gaps, and the teachers just, I don't know.
It happens so much.
Yeah, so she was just kind of falling through some of the gaps and not really. And I thought, if we keep tracking like that, and this is only, the beginning, and I imagined that deficit gap was just going to get bigger and bigger. So,
oh yeah, you got to keep that love of learning alive, and that's the biggest thing, isn't it, Pauline? Keeping that love of learning alive.
Yeah,
it is, and it is as they get older and older. It can be more challenging, and if they're not happy, they're not going to learn.
No, that's right. And they shut down.
Feel safe.
I remember my youngest son at the age of, how old was he? He must have been 7, I think, 6 or 7. We had enrolled them into Brighton the Sands Public School in Sydney, and I basically got pulled aside by the principal. I think it would have been 2 months into the year, and he said to me, "Look, I think you need to homeschool Josh." And I just went, roll me backwards, and I just sat there and thought, God, you could have blown me over with a feather. And he literally said to me, he said, "Look, he's shut down. He won't learn. He won't talk, and he won't engage."
Yeah.
He said, we have tried, and there's nothing that we can do. We found out he had been bullied, and we found out that some kid in, I think it was year 3, had tried to push his head down the toilet and flush it when he was like a brand new student. And of course he's going to shut down. Of course he's going to not talk. Of course he's going to disengage, because nobody was there to help him. And he felt scared to even we only found this out like 3 years ago. And it was like, of course. So that's exactly what we did. We took him out and we homeschooled him, instant acceptance, and have been literally dealing with his anxieties ever since.
And so how is he now?
He is a lot better, a lot more confident. He's now 13, but he still displays, we can't throw surprise things on him. Like, we can't say, it's like dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. Like, if you say, "Oh, let's go to the movies," or "let's go to something suddenly, spontaneously," he won't cope.
Yeah.
But if you say, "Okay, tomorrow we're going to go at this time," and give him that 24 hours to get used to it, and even in the morning, like, if we're leaving at 11 o'clock, I'll start saying, "Okay, at 8 o'clock, we're leaving in 3 hours. And then at 9 o'clock, we're leaving in 2 hours," and then break him into it. He's fine. He's totally fine. Yeah. So I've got to work like that with him. But, it's one of those things that, we've paid the price ever since. So I totally get the unimpressed feeling about public schools. Yeah.
I think the thing I don't know, how do you structure this, Pauline? Can we just kind of talk freely, or do you have stuff to go through?
You can do whatever you like. I have no set plan. I have a bit of a plan depending on how it goes and whether or not will I add that information, or will I just let it be an open chat? And it's a bit of both. So you go for it. If you need to just talk about stuff, then that's what it is. And
okay, thank you. So the thing I'm probably struggling with a little bit is the unschooling of Emmy. And so because she's 13 and a half and has always known schooling to look a certain way, she's really struggling with, "But Mum, you're not sitting down and teaching me the thing, and I don't need to write an essay on it." And so we're really, and I don't know how to unschool, and also and I'm a single mum, so I'm kind of
yeah, we're experts at that.
I'm going to send you a link on the actual chat session.
Okay.
And you can actually get your daughter to read this.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so she can understand how to unschool.
Awesome.
Okay, So this will break, hang on a sec, I'll just get it for you now.
And I'm going to grab my charger so that I don't completely hear on you.
Sorry, Pauline, it's too much of a good opportunity to share this particular resource because it really is gold.
No. That's what this is for. It's meant to be helping each other, not me sitting here telling you what to do. Because I don't know all the answers.
No. Well, this I went through the same thing. Sorry, you can't see me at the moment. I'm just getting the link.
I can see you, so be careful what you're doing.
Oh, can you? Oh, that's good.
I can see you all.
Okay.
Because I'm the host, I see you all.
Invisible.
Okay. I'm giving you the actual link. You don't have to go through this link to buy. I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. So please don't think I'm actually shoving this down your throat. But it's called the Unschooling Handbook. And hang on a sec, where are we? What do I do here? Hang on a sec. This one.
Oh, now she's gone. You're going to share it on the screen. Woohoo!
Oh, is that what I did?
You you now know how to share on Zoom. Well done.
There you go. Sorry, I did not mean to do that. I just meant to send it to the chat. Anyway, that book, The Unschooling Handbook, How to Use the Whole World as Your Child's Classroom, is gold.
Awesome.
Absolutely gold. It's an easy share. Hang on, I'm going to put it in here too. I'll put the little link in the
I just took a screenshot so I can.
Sorry?
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's not a very big book. It's only literally maybe, I don't know, 150 pages.
Perfect.
Yeah, really easy read. Very easy read. Your daughter, if she can read, I don't know, Nancy Drew type like novels or things like that, she'll be able to read this easy.
Okay.
So it's a very easy read, but it really opens up your understanding on how to just let go. Literally just let go. Let her visit to the toilet be her science exam, or her science lesson on how her body works. There's so much you can do. Like cooking can be maths and science and so many things together. So, but it tells you, let her gravitate to what she is actually interested in. And then it's your job to decipher that into the different modules.
Yeah, okay.
But as soon as she reads it, if she can get her head around it, then she's far more likely to stop making the demands on you.
Yeah, she keeps telling me, you're such a terrible teacher. And I keep
Yeah, and you're not meant to be the teacher. You're meant to be a facilitator.
Yeah, exactly. So we're both learning that. And
yes.
And I'd say the first month was really, really frustrating. And then I put something on Facebook one day, like, help. And someone wrote back to me and said, forgive me for being so blunt, but you're only a month in. Chill out. Just chill out. So that was kind of nice permission to go, oh, yeah, that's okay. Good. We're not this isn't a race. We don't need to get there immediately. We can take our time.
No, but the other thing too is if she says that to you, like, you're not teaching me, it's like, well, no, because I'm not a teacher. And that mere sentence in itself will actually throw the whole paradigm out the window. But then you say, but I'm a facilitator. And she says, well, what's a facilitator? I'm here to support your learning journey. How do you want to learn today? And then that makes her critically think, oh, what do I want to do today? I'd like to go to the shops, or, and you can start teaching her budgeting skills, or, whatever it happens to be that the child-led learning is absolutely hands down the way to go.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Pauline?
Yeah, I'll say one thing. When you're talking, bring the phone closer to you. I think we're not hearing everything you're saying. Like it's a bit distant, or whether you got a headpiece to put on, because it's quite silent. Yeah, I totally agree. Especially like our stories with children with anxiety and the trauma that they have, it's paramount to unschool them and give them the time for them to be healing and to just be at home and chill out. And if they don't feel like this and they don't feel like that, so that they have some normality back and reconnect with you as the parent and the nurturer for them. And that time frame can be any period of time. Like I have one particular child who suffered severe trauma from school, and now he's starting to want to learn, but still there's days and times that he is not coping and he's not with it, and all these things that have developed as of a result of being at school, and it's doing it at his pace. So if he says, Mum, I don't really feel like doing this today, or I don't want to do this, or I go, no, okay, just choose something else that you want to do. That's what you want to do. Because sometimes I plan it because they want me to plan it. Other times it's all them driven.
Yeah.
In the house, it's quite varied here. I don't follow a curriculum. I follow what my kids are interested in, because I was a teacher before a mum, so I kind of pick up on things that they're not knowing yet, or they want to learn. They'll say to me they want to learn something. Yeah. But for the unschooling period of time, that can be as long as it takes as whatever. Like my kids know a lot about money, maths and maths, because we're always shopping together, and so I'm always getting them to look at the values or see if you can work it in your head. If you can't work it in your head, let's do it on a bit of paper or the calculator, or make it simpler so they can be doing it automatically in their head. And as they develop, then of course they go further. But that's the beauty of homeschooling. We can be as diverse as we want and follow the kids' leads and facilitate and find programs even that they sit and just do independently on their own. Because I remember asking about being a single.
Sorry, I was going to say, you might find that she is a natural academic. That's just who she's like. She likes bookwork. She likes curriculum. She likes order. Then, then there might be a transition to something like home learn. Have you heard of home learn?
No, but I've
heard of home learn is an online-based schooling curriculum designed by teachers that will actually I think you pay something like $39 a month, and they will send you readers, they will send you a whole bunch of things and the work, and then and then you send it back at the end of every week. It's a bit like distance education but done privately, and they will actually mark the work and actually grade her. So if that's something that she's interested, I'll get you the link for that too, but if that's something that she's interested in and she's gravitating and she prefers that method, that's a really good way too, for $40 a month. But they don't include maths. They actually will say to you on that particular program, there are so many really good maths programs out there. Do Mathletics or do Cool Maths or do whatever suits your child. Yeah. But they will cover all the other ones, and they will help you actually register for homeschooling. They will actually lead you through the process on how to do it for your state. Yeah. And they will actually support you the whole way through. Okay. So if that's something that is, you prefer that safety net method, because everybody's different, every child's different, and if that's something that she likes to look forward to her little package each week, that she gets sent and she has a bookwork and she has to, fill it out and go and do a little projects and whatever, fantastic. That's what works for her. Okay. So don't feel like you're sort of swimming in this sea of, I don't know where to go and what to do next, because there's always a way that you can actually find works for you. Yeah. And if that's purchasing an entire curriculum, then do it. Or, as I said, or the home loan, which is a month by month thing, then do it that way. There is no one right way.
Well, there's things like talking about the maths. There's Maths Online is a program that they self-drive themselves. They just follow the program. There's tutorials and things like that, and they just work through it, and it goes right through till end of high school as well. So Maths Online, and for homeschoolers, we get quite a good percentage off if you let them know that, and you send your VQRA here in Victoria anyway, your number, so that you get that discount. It's quite a big amount, and they can just be self-directed on that. So it depends. And that, because I'm thinking of that for you, because on one of your comments on one of your texts was talking about how do I do it as a single mum and working and all these kinds of things. Well, then that's what you can tap into, these kinds of things that are got all the information right there, or they're doing tutorials online, like Maths Online does, which then provides you with that she can just do it herself and follow along. If you get, and they're there to help her, or you can help them. My children are knocking on the door.
I've just sent you that link, B.
Thank you.
That's all right, and that's something that you can have a bit of an explore. You can even just contact them and just have a bit of a discussion on how it works for you, if that's something. And we actually did that as a transition back to unschooling.
Okay.
So we had taken them out of a normal school. We did home learn for probably about 6 to 12 months, and then we went into unschooling.
Okay.
Because the kids couldn't get their head around going back to that again. So, you know, there's so many bridges and there's so many ways. So whatever suits you.
We're getting there. And so each morning at the moment, Emmy writes up her learning plan for the day.
Great.
Yeah, she's learning keyboard, and today she did baking, and then we've been going to the library more.
Fantastic.
She got an awesome maths tutor, because maths was the one thing she was like, I really, really want to stay sharp with maths.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman in Yarraville was amazing. So that's
fantastic.
That's good. And I'm loving OutSchool. Like some of the stuff, they've got a really good one coming up on emotional intelligence and resilience. And that's like great.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's the thing. We don't have a lot of that where we live. So grab hold of as much of that as you possibly can. I live in Central West New South Wales. I live in Orange.
Okay.
And there's lots of homeschooling groups up here, but they're all for little kids.
Yeah.
And it's like there's this massive gap between sort of 9 and 10-year-olds to all of a sudden you've got 15, 16, 17-year-olds. And it's like, and they've started doing this once a month meetup, and they will either go to the movies or they'll go to the bowling alley, but my kids just go, no, not interested.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't get many friends. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, I'm finding that a little bit tricky because so far everything socialization-wise has been daytime. And, like, I'm at work. I can't take her to any of those things. So, which is why I put her in some sports. But it would be really nice for her to be able to do environmental stuff or, you know.
Interest groups of some description, yeah.
Yeah, the social thing's still a bit of a gap for us.
But you just remember you still only just started this year, and already you found some successes in your year already. Because normally it's very daunting at the start. It's like, where do I go? What do I do?
Oh, yeah.
The beauty of the unschooling, because it all gets a bit overwhelming, and it's good to have that opportunity for yourself and your daughter to sort of get your head around what you want to do and where you're going to go with everything. So I'd say a big pat on the back because you're already going so well already, and it's only a few months into the year already. Absolutely. And you found some things. So some of those other things will come, like that socialization and stuff will come. It takes a while because in homeschooling where you can already be available during the day, but you've still got to find a group or a group of children and parents that you connect with. So don't be too hard on yourself because it will come over time. It's just, well, it is time really, and tapping into those resources wherever. And yeah, again, it'd be a bit good if it's interest-based or if you can get a network, but again, it could be an online connection.
Yeah.
You know, and for now even, or a part of her socializing is online. Like our boys often connect, well, they were connecting online and playing games online, for example. And actually my son still does that with a few kids, and I think Daniel still does a little bit as well, because we don't see each other, but we can still connect as friends, you know. So I guess what we expect is socialization doesn't necessarily have to be. And
I think we're so used to having the instant socialization and instant gratification in socialization with schools, you know, because it's instantly, that's a given. You know, when you actually have to go look for it, you realise how much they are just lumped in together and not necessarily interest-based. They're just lumped in together. You know what I mean? So it becomes this sort of like, I mean, I don't know about you, but I hated school, absolutely hated school. And it was, and I never wanted to sort of pass that hatred over to my kids because their experience could be so totally different to mine. you know, and they're not going to the school that I went to. They're not dealing with the people that I grew up with. So it's going to be a total different dynamic and different teachers as well. However, the more we realised we needed to homeschool, the more we realised this was right for the rhythm of our family, and the socialisation will come at whatever time it comes. And if it's into their early adulthood, well, then that's their journey too. And I have to be okay with it. I mean, it breaks my heart sometimes. I sit there and think, oh, you know, because I had so many friends when I grew up, and I had this and I had that. But
Yeah.
I really feel that when you go through a homeschooling journey, that it's really moulding you to become a character that's learning to stand on their own 2 feet. And they're not part of a herd. They're actually part of leadership, because this is part of who they are meant to be.
Well, and they
You know?
socialise with adults so much more as well, don't they? They're in much more adult company. I think
Yes.
what we loved about high school, the thing that she would come home every day lit up and excited about, was the lunchtime with her friends, where she would act like a goat and they would laugh all lunchtime. And so I kind of am like, oh, naturally reclusive, like naturally an isolated kid, happy on her own, only child, but really got a kick out of that lunchtime socialization at school. So I do want to be conscious about making sure she stays connected, because she won't.
Absolutely. And if you can get it, do it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've had to surrender that to the universe and just go, well, we've tried scouts, we've tried cadets, we've tried swimming lessons, we've tried, oh my God, you name it, we've tried everything, and it's ended up by backing out because they just get bored and they just don't connect with the people that they're with. So it's like, okay.
People.
Yeah. So,
and that's with my child with anxiety. Well, I've got 2 with anxiety. One's changing as he's getting older. The other one that's been traumatised. He won't do anything in groups. So he might be interested in activity, but he doesn't participate. So let him come to me when he's ready to join in with others.
That's right. Exactly.
At his level. Even can't have people coming to the house. We were isolated for nearly 2 years because we couldn't go anywhere. But now, gradually, bit by bit, it's happening. So, and every parent in homeschooling is pretty well mindful of their kids still mixing with children, but how it comes and when it comes, it's just a natural progression, I think, through the homeschooling journey, really. Like when you're saying all this stuff.
Just about letting go, isn't it?
Yeah. And they've got that freedom to be, and they've got the freedom to be who they want to be, with who they want to be, without any boundaries on that, and without any restrictions, limitations.
In a safe space too.
Yeah.
Like having that safety and knowing that they can just bloom in that safe space does wonders for kids. And I'm sure that most of us growing up in school, you know, in the school arena when we did, and we're given that just the way the school is structured, a lot of us have developed not necessarily beneficial traits of survival. And it's like, some of them are good, sure, absolutely, but some of them are actually not that good. And I go to wonder whether we've, you know, like a large percentage of society got a few damaged psyche issues. I mean, you know, I think we can all agree at some point the whole society's screwed. But at the end of the day, if we can hold out a little bit of hope in our homeschooling communities that we're actually breeding some conscientious, you know, moralistic people that are going to go out into society and change their little world wherever they're going to go, then they're, you know, it's all well and good. It's all well and good.
One of the things that sticks in my head, or that sort of comes up for me, is that idea of resilience and being able to be in a situation where you're not in charge and you're not comfortable and the boss is making a bit of an asshole, and that's sometimes life. And I want to be able to, I don't know how to expose her. I don't want to unnecessarily expose her to asshole situations. But the idea that she doesn't always get to choose, right? That she's
Trust me, it will come. Regardless of where you go, it will come. I mean, my kids do a lot of gaming.
Yeah.
My eldest one, he has learnt the hard way of how to be resilient and how to actually basically allow himself to be insular with his private information. You know, he has drawn very strong boundaries, and he does not talk about himself. He only talks about the game now, and he does not, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
My youngest one, he jumps on with his oldest brother's friends and just goes with all the private information, and my eldest is going, no, and it's like, and then he gets ousted by these kids who thinks he's too intense, and then all of a sudden he's gutted and he's so upset, and he's like, he'll cry for like hours because he's been kicked off the team, and it's like, that's part of his resilient training, you know what I mean? And he's had, like with Daniel, he's learnt to block people when they've become too much of an asshole, whereas Joshua wants to be friends with everybody, and he's learned the hard way because he wears his heart on his sleeve. So it's like, don't worry, her opportunity will come.
Oh, well, you can be in the shops, though. You can be in the shops, or you're dealing in car traffic, or, you can be anywhere out in society, and you come across somebody that just turns up out of the blue and just starts yelling to you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And all these, and how do you deal with that? And as a parent, then you discuss and model it, and even if you're stuffed up and you got very angry, well, then you talk about what happened, and that's our job as the parents, to guide and be as well. We're normal. We all have our moments of getting angry or whatever, and that's a part of life. And
look, and you're going to have people who disagree with you about your homeschooling choice too, and they will sit there and they will tear shreds off you for making your child into some sort of inbred. And it's like, well, no, that's not what I've chosen to do. And they don't understand the whole concept of homeschooling because, what about the socialisation issue? What about this? What about that? Yada, yada, yada. And it's like, that's my choice. It's not yours. But your child is watching. Your child is watching how you are resilient to that situation too. So it's like, that's where they learn, and that's where they glean, and that's where they pick up little tips. And they may not necessarily have to go literally into the lion's den, but at the same time, they will pick up strategies and go, oh.
Have you had many problems with intimidation or fear or anything along your journey? No? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Because it's a very, very common thing with this whole starting out or choosing to go to homeschooling for fear and intimidation and all those things. It can be from the principal to the school to family to community to everybody. Everyone often has their opinions about whether or not you should be homeschooling or not. And it's a very common thing that people have to deal with, and that fear of the unknown and what's going to happen, and what are they going to do, because it's not classed as the norm, and so we are the not normal, but we are probably the most normal. You know what I mean? If we're thinking really intuitively and well-being of our children, that's what's the norm about it, and opening up the doors for them to learn. And it really is. I said to somebody the other day, it's just another educational environment. That's all it is, where the children feel safe and happy. That's what homeschooling is. So we've found we don't get upset about when people ask us about homeschooling or query us still to this day, and we've been doing it for quite some time. We use it as an opportunity to educate the other people. So if they ask us questions or whatever, then you use it as a way to say, oh, yeah,
I haven't had
this is what we do. Or we're having a great time. They usually ask the kids now because they're older, but before they used to always ask me, how do you do it? What are you doing it for? And when you just answer them honestly and they learn. And
I mean, even in the checkout in the supermarkets, I go, oh, what are you going to do, after school today? And they're like, well, I'm already off school. Like, oh, what do you do? Oh, we homeschool. And they look at them like they're, some sort of alien or something. And it's like, it can happen anywhere, really.
Honestly, none of that phases me. That's not even on my radar.
That's so good. Oh, I wish I was like that. Sorry.
Yes. There's some very, very hard and sad stories out there to do with homeschooling. So how are you finding it? You said you had some, being that you're working a lot and you're on your own. So how are you finding the load is it becoming a load like you initially thought it was going to be?
It seems to have recently settled, and part of that is because Emmy's anxiety has settled down a little bit. And so previously she didn't want to be left home alone at all. And now she's like getting up and self-directing and is not blinking about staying home and just getting some stuff done. And I check in with her during the day and I set her tasks on Google Classroom and stuff. But there was a phase sort of in that first month or so where she was coming to work every day, but she was super anxious, so she kept taking me off task. I'm really lucky because my boss is going to be an unschooler, and he's very open to it, and he's also
fantastic.
So super lucky for me in that situation. But also, you know, it's a highly professional environment, so I have to be able to respect the space. And so that was where some of my initial stress was coming from, not like her need to come with me and then demanding that I teach her when I had to be at work doing work. So that's kind of balance. I think she's kind of getting a little more on the swing of self-directing. And yeah, I'm making more of an effort to be more consciously with her, you know, even just whenever I can through the day and when I come home. So I feel like we're getting there. I guess the thing I'm actually not doing at all and should probably be paying attention to is any form of tracking the learning. So I know
it's really interesting. Interesting. Sorry, Pauline, were you going to say something?
No, you go first. It's okay. Oh, wait.
I was just going to say the best thing that you can do is get a diary app on your phone.
Yeah.
And literally all you do is you take a photograph of it and you break it down into the different modules by just literally like bullet points.
Okay.
Put the date and just put, okay, English was covered by da-da-da-da-da, maths was covered by da-da-da-da-da, and you've taken the photograph as evidence.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the week, you can print it off.
Well, I found with the Victorian government, was what they call VQRA, doesn't really want the photos anymore because it's loading up their systems now. So,
just the word
record, and then when you go to write up your plan or your review, if you get reviewed, that is, you may not, but in every 2 years, somebody 200 get randomly pulled out. You've at least got documentation, and so you could do it like that. Or you can just give it to them. Hey?
Sorry, Pauline, did you say you handwrite yours? You don't do it on technology?
Well, yeah, I do, but you can't do the photos. So, like, even if you did the diary app and you did the photos and you recorded information, at least it's your record. So when you do get pulled up for review, you've got all the information and then you just write up a review, and there's different formats to do that in. I like things very simplistic. So I just did, I'm a bit cheeky. And so I just did a whole thing on a monthly calendar, and I just put in different activities that I've done with my kids over the years and covered that. And then I just picked a couple of activities and I talked briefly about how that applied to a KLA or whatever, and rambled on for a bit. That's all I did. I've never recorded anything. Well, not never. Sorry, that's wrong. But I never looked at those notes, really. I just made it up from memory. But other people who are very worried about what they produce, I'm laid back, really. Anyway, and you would think I was a teacher, but whatever. Anyway, so you can just do whatever you want. A lot of people are doing the photos because it's a visual and it will help them do the recall of what it is. But to send it to the government, then they told me don't upload any. I said, good, because I didn't take any. So,
well, I was going to say, you can get your daughter to take the photos, and at the end of the day, you just break it down on yourself.
Yeah. So you can even just upload it and have a file or something, or put it into OneDrive or iCloud and just have a series and then you can together even write a little plan if you ever got reviewed, which I think the odds are here in Victoria you will get eventually done. But for now, new and fresh.
And guess what? If you get your daughter to take the photos, you've just covered technology and art.
Yeah.
See? Simple.
Yeah, it's very good.
Mm.
And the main thing is that she's enjoying life, she's having fun, she's learning what she wants to learn. There's, hardly any stress, because you still have your moments. Mm. And it's all, there's no pressure. And that's what was always worried about is starting up here, the laws coming here in Victoria. Everyone was stressing out big time. And I'd go, well, not much you can do about it if it comes, and then we just go with the flow and see what happens. And of course, what was I? I was one of the first ones to get reviewed. I go, shit, I haven't recorded anything. I go, oh, well, whatever, I'll make it up. So I did. And that's what, hopefully that's not recorded and put out in the world. But anyway, we did do the activities, right? We did do the activities by how I implemented it and what happened exactly. I added a bit here and there, or try to remember because I couldn't remember. Yeah. Whereas other people have really got a very strict format of recording and planning, and especially those that are following curriculums or who are very concerned about reviews will have things really formatted in a document online, like whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it's really up to you what you're comfortable with and how much documentation you want to do. But it is good to note some things during the week, even if it wasn't every day, that was related to the KLAs, so that you don't have to do what I do and have to try to remember what I did, even that week, because I forget. But, and just have that simple documentation of it. It could even, you could buy a journal and just write a few notes in it once a week, whatever works for you.
Yeah, cool. Easy. That sounds pretty easy. I think recently.
It is easy. Laughing. All this drama.
I'm going to have to go. I hate to leave this meeting early, but I'm going to have to go because we have a graduation outfit to buy tonight before shop shut. So
I'm only allowed to do 40 minutes on here anyway because I didn't pay my fee for the month. So I'm not allowed to go over an hour. So okay. I'm only allowed to do 40 minutes, so you won't miss much, my dear.
Okay. All right. Lovely to meet you, B, and I wish you all the best at a successful journey, and I'm sure that, you will be totally fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think she's rocking it already.
Absolutely. All right. Take care, ladies. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Melissa. See ya. Yes, it sounds like you're doing well anyway, and it just takes time. It really is about time and trusting that you and your daughter know what you're doing. It'll just start happening. I think like you've already started. Others will take over, like even me fiddling with my kids and what have you. It took longer because I had big anxieties to deal with, and which is the best way. And I had troubles with my ex, and I still do have troubles with my ex, and all the stuff that there's a lot in it. So everyone's journey and how long it takes for them to do all the things, is quite individual.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you have any other questions or concerns that you can think of?
Just 1 second. What's up?
I think the cat was able to have nuts wheel.
Okay. Did you just lock them up? Okay, give me 2 seconds, darling. I'm nearly done.
My heart will race.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I'll be out in a minute, sweetie. I think what's been great recently is Emmy's had 2 catch-ups with her 2 best friends from high school, and both of them are really struggling. So they're both really having a tough time. One of them started having panic attacks. The other one's looking at moving schools. And I think from a validation perspective, for a kid who doesn't like to stand out, it's been really nice for her to see that she's not the only one who had a hard time. So that even, I think, has been playing into the way that she's started taking charge of her own learning. She feels a lot more empowered because of that stuff. So that's sad for them, but good for us.
Yeah. Well, I'm finding that with one of my boys. We've got some really good friends. My kids hang out at the skate park and the scooter park quite a bit, and they've got some really good friends now. They have to go to school and they move school so they can get catered for. One was struggling with learning, the other one's gifted. They've had to travel 40 minutes on the train every morning to go to school, and they go, I wish we were homeschooled.
Yeah.
Because we've got it easy, because we only have to do a few hours really if we want to, because that's usually what they say. You only need to do a few hours compared to what the length of time you're actually at school to cover whatever learning, if you want it to be structured learning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's good. But it is hard to watch other kids struggling and, just pull them out.
Yeah.
And
what's incredible is that almost without exception, every person that I've spoken to, parent, has said to me, I could never do that. It's like, oh, really? This feels like the only option. It's not, but, it doesn't feel like such a hard decision.
And usually when you're looking for things that you need, you'll find it. Like a lot of people say, well, how do they go to university? I said, yeah, can if they want to. there's ways and means to get into university. What means to say they can't go to university or higher education of whatever sort that is.
Yeah.
Even children of 13 are doing university degree compartments of things because that's where their interest is, or whatever. We have a lot of flexibility of where they want to go if that's where they want to go. If they don't, like, they don't have to. And I think that's the beauty of the whole thing. It's so individual and unique, and everyone's got your back, and there's information out there. Like, we are very blessed we have the internet because we can find information, and if you don't know, then someone else knows.
It's so good. And I'm finding that the internal group support to be really fantastic. It's a very supportive community. So I'm really impressed. The learning online is really fantastic, high quality. The support's really fantastic. So I'm pretty wrapped so far.
Yeah, and you're talking about the out of school thing. I mean, that's over in America, isn't it? Or is it the UK?
It's America.
Yeah, and so they've been doing homeschooling much longer than us Aussies. So they've got a lot more things in place than what we have.
Yeah, it's been so good. So we'll keep doing those sorts of things and challenging different areas. Yeah,
because you've got the opportunity now to branch further into finding what our actual interests are. Like my son, he was going to be an engineer. And the other day he goes, I don't think I'm going to be an engineer now. And he's only about to turn 14. And I go, that's fine. Because we were talking about maths and trying to get his maths up a bit further up, because I taught my kids very low key because his anxiety was so severe he couldn't concentrate and what have you. So I went very slow with education until he was ready to sit and able to concentrate and stuff like that. So where you would think he would be, he's not necessarily, but he actually has the intellect to go as far as he wants to go. So he was aiming for an engineering, and I said, well, if we want to catch up on a bit of maths, you'll need it for your engineering. And then he was keen on doing all that, and then all of a sudden he goes, I don't think I want to be an engineer. I said, okay. And then we have that flexibility that we don't have to pressure them down that pathway. They've already started.
Subjects.
Turn it. We just change it.
Great. Yeah. Love it. How often do you run these sorts of talks?
Well, I've only just started this year. I think this is my 4th one.
Okay, cool.
So this year I'm a teacher, primary school special needs teacher. I started coaching, life coaching, and I was looking at working with women who were stuck in really toxic relationships, etc. But I also had my teaching, and I was interested in working with kids, cut a long story short, decided late last year I'm going to focus on the homeschooling community because they need all that. And they also need just support and leads and information. And then I thought, people don't get to talk. Whether or not you're at a network group or you're not in a network group or you're in the middle of Australia, you don't get chances to just talk because your kids are with you or whatever. So then I go, well, let's just do free live chats and everyone can connect and different people have different information because I'm not an expert. I'm just a mum and doing my thing. And so I thought that I'll do that. And then I create a business and run workshops. I want to run a workshop, for example, in April, helping, depending on which topic I'm going to cover. And now I also tutor and coach children at the local community centre. I want to do it online as well and run lessons online like this, but you've got whiteboards and things in Zoom, and then you can draw pictures and I can send links and all that sort of stuff. So that's where I'm heading, and just trying to find out really what the community is really needing as well as what I think they need, but also what people are needing. And then I run these to what the needs that seem to be coming up in the pages or in my group, or because I've talked to heaps of people that are newbies this year through Messenger or on the phone and talk to them and looking at all their struggles and different stories and because I've been doing it for a while. But again, I don't know everything either because, as I said before, I'm quite relaxed and I don't need to know all the ins and outs. I just do it, whatever. That's me. Other people, they need to know those facts. They're very, very different. So yeah, this is probably my 4th one. So I try to run them every Wednesday. So it can either be a general open question, people want to know stuff, and which is usually what it is, or I'll come up with a topic and then to see how it runs.
Yeah, great. And
then I put it up for people to watch that were interested but that couldn't attend. Like last week was on EFT and helping children with their emotions, and adults even. So another week was about motivation. Another week was about another about new people starting up with homeschooling, because that was a really beneficial one for that as well. So yeah, that's kind of where I've started with all this.
Great.
And see, because all the texting back and forth is not the same as talking to people.
Agreed.
I think that's what we've lost in our social media at times. I'm like, yeah, it's great to do a video, and lives are good, but you're still not necessarily talking to the people. It's different again. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for what you're doing. It's really great, and I'll keep connected and tuned in.
Beautiful. And let us know how you're going. But it sounds like you're doing very well for a very new homeschooling family. That's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like we're slowly getting our feet.
Yeah. And it is. It's a time. It's just to take your time. There's no time period. It's no rush. It's just, and it will change as she gets older or things happen. Things will change as well. Her interests change. It'll change. And then you'll be looking for more information. But you always put things on Facebook pages. There's people out there that know stuff.
Yeah, great.
Which is a beautiful thing that we have of social media, because I think homeschooling relies on that social media contact. That's a great resource for
it does.
everything. I'll let you go and spend some time with your beautiful girl. I'm glad we finally met.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
No way. All right.
I'll see you next time.
You don't mind me putting this up with you on here talking on a live? Is that okay? No.
Yeah, that's fine. Easy. All right, love. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, B. Take care. Bye.
Bye.